used to work as a lawyer on the Champs-Élysées in Paris, and I grew up spending my summers in my grandparents' chateau in the south of France. I've had the opportunity to be in very prestigious environments, and in this video, I'm going to tell you what's the difference between looking wealthy and looking powerful, because it's definitely not the same. This difference matters particularly if you run your own business, because one is going to be right for you as a business leader, and the other one is going to be completely wrong. First off, looking wealthy is all about consumption and displaying your ability to buy. And that's the case whether you're new money or old money. It's just done differently. Displaying wealth the new money way is the most obvious. It is the one that we see on social media, on TV shows. New money people convey their wealth by using some codes that are known to most people. The old money way of displaying wealth is more subtle because the codes are only known to a small part of the population, but the logic is exactly the same. The difference is that the possessions that are valued in the old money environment are rather an inherited ring, a vintage bag that has been passed down from mother to daughter, a certain kind of scotch. So wealth in both cases is conveyed through the ability to buy certain things that are expensive. It's just that to the new money crowd, those things are visible and known to most people, and to the old money crowd, these things require insider knowledge. But in both cases, when you spot a certain object on someone, you're going to see their wealth. Looking powerful, on the other hand, is much more subtle because it is about displaying control. Control over oneself and control over the situation. And as a female founder, as a CEO, that is what you should be aiming at. Displaying control instead of wealth. The reason is that you're going to be taken seriously if you display competence, not if you display access to money. It doesn't prevent you from wearing logos if you like wearing logos. I'm going to explain how to do that in a second. Control is something powerful people first display through their clothes. Their outfit is going to have some kind of structure, because structure expresses structure in your mind and in your life. But it's also going to have some kind of flow, some kind of laisser-aller. That's the sweet spot when it comes to displaying power with your clothes, because it shows that you have structure in your life, but also that you know how to be flexible. The kind of control a powerful woman wants to convey is not a control freak kind of control. It's the perfect amount of, I know how to act on the things that I can control, but I also know how to let go on the things that I can't. Control also shows through the quality of the materials and the cuts, because that translates an attention to detail and therefore control over how one looks. Control is also conveyed through clothing by the ability to tell a story. The story that you should tell with your clothes shouldn't be, I can afford a Hermes belt. It should rather be, I am in control, I'm educated, but I also don't take myself too seriously. This ability to convey who you are and not what you can afford is what makes the difference in perception between wealthy people and powerful people. You can absolutely be powerful and also convey your wealth through your clothing, but you should do that without the story of what you can purchase completely taking over. That means that if you want to wear a specific brand or a specific logo, that this piece should be the only branded piece of your outfit. If your designer piece is quite discreet, then you can have the rest of the outfit tell a story of its own. But if the designer piece is quite visible, then the rest should be minimal to not have too many stories going on. And at that point, the main story that you're saying is, I can afford this designer bag. In that case, you have to consider whether or not that story aligns with your general brand. Here is what looking wealthy versus powerful would look like at a cocktail. The wealthy woman is going to wear a brand new dress that is hopefully from one of the latest collections. She will have bought it specifically for that event, and she will have matched it, if the dress is not fully sparkly itself, with some kind of sparkle. So a sparkly shoe, a sparkly clutch, maybe there's some sparkle in her makeup, and she will have paired that already bold and remarkable dress with some more jewelry to show that she can afford to have every single piece be designer. With that outfit, you can tell in a split second that this woman is extremely wealthy. The powerful woman, on the other hand, is going to focus on conveying structure and flow. She's probably going to have a very classic timeless dress that conveys that structure and flow, and she's going to pair it with some kind of power feminine element. Her makeup is going to be invisible, and it's very unlikely that she's going to have any kind of glitter or sparkle. She's going to focus very much on the quality of the materials and how those take the light. The wealthy woman is going to disregard how comfortable her outfit is, because it's more about the performance of the moment, even though she might feel a little bit contrived in her clothes. Whereas the powerful woman is going to put a real emphasis on how comfortable she feels in her clothes, because she knows that if she can display comfort, she's going to look powerful, she's going to look like she belongs, and basically that she is in that kind of environment every single day. The idea here is also to convey that because I have so much power, I don't need to be the most dressed up in the room. That's not how I prove my worth. Wealth is loud and fast to read. Super fast if it's new money, because most of the codes are legible to the whole population. Fast also if you're old money, but only to the people who know those codes. Wealth is something that you see, but power is something that you sense. It's more subtle. It's conveyed through appearance, but also through presence. And before I move on to explaining why wealth and power are often mistaken for each other, I want to teach you how to look powerful, because there are some simple things that you can do that will make you exude power. This is usually how most female leaders introduce themselves when they meet a potential partner. Hi, I'm really happy to meet you. Yes, thank you so much for giving me some of your time. I'm really excited to get talking. Wonderful, tell me more about yourself. This conveys stress, anxiety, and a very strong eagerness to be liked and validated, which is a strong repellent, especially at a higher business level. We're going to fix 3 things: posture, pitch, and cadence. Posture first. You need to look relaxed. So you need to put your shoulders down, open your chest, and breathe in your stomach. This only is going to change completely the kind of energy that you are projecting. Second, you need to speak from the lowest part of your range. So your voice has a range. You can go as low as you can and you can go as high as you can. What you want to hit is the lowest part of your range, where your voice is not straining but still much more grounded. To find that pitch, you simply need to do and you have it. And finally, we need to address cadence, the speed at which we speak. Because if we're powerful, if we're established, if we're confident, we are in no rush whatsoever. With these 3 changes, here is how it's going to look like for you to meet a potential business partner. Thank you for coming all this way. If you don't mind, we're going to proceed to this room where we can start talking about this. Would you like to get some coffee first? You're not changing who you are. You're not changing your authentic self. You are not dressing differently, yet you are looking and sounding much more powerful and established than in the first version. Your eagerness to meet that business partner or that customer can be the same, but the way they're going to experience you is going to be completely different. And let me assure you that when it comes to money, they're going to be way more inclined to giving you more, regardless of your relationship, if you present yourself in the second way that I just showed you. And if you're curious to know how exactly your appearance is currently impacting your business revenue, I have created an audit that you can take for free that will tell you exactly how much money you are currently losing because of how you present. The link to take that test is in the description. Now, there are a few reasons why power and wealth are often confused. In most everyday settings, the two genuinely overlap. With pop culture, we're used to seeing power as a display of wealth. And because money buys a lot of conditions for power. And that's why people chase the visible markers of wealth, the car, the watch, the jewelry, the designer handbags, because they believe that that is what is going to make them look powerful. But what you should know is that those markers of wealth can be faked, whereas power, true power, so the ability to not care about what people think, a true comfort in high-end environments, a true detachment in negotiations, these cannot be faked. With markers of wealth, you might be able to impress the person you're talking to. But with true power and that rare presence that you can develop, you're going to get so much more out of the relationship. If you'd like to know how you present and how that impacts your business, I invite you to take the audit with the link in the description. And I will see you very happily in the next one. À bientôt!